sooner or later, but we're going to get straight into this grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise. Grand final time here at Assembly. It's going to be Epsilon starting on the CT side, Space Soldiers on the T. They'll be getting 4 sets of armor, and it's going to be 2 Gucks with the Molotov and Smoke Grenade as well. And she's going to be slowing things right down here. You expect fast plays normally on the T-pistol, going for those big rushes towards the A side, more traditionally towards the B area, but considering they have the smoke, they are set up all the way in T-spawn with the bomb as well. It's actually quite an A-heavy attack from Epsilon, which is also slightly unorthodox. A lot of teams opting for retake strategies these days, so a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. Yeah, especially because the retake on B is especially hard. It's such a tighter choke point to try and walk back into, specifically without smoke utility. They do have res with one and the kit. Vent's already blown out as they go over the boost. Antara's going to make the jump, but Zelos, that gives him the shot behind the sandbags. It's a headshot at that, and he'll go down. Paz going to try and rotate over and just get toward the B site. So now this A bias could cost them, as Rez already smoked off. Remember, no armor. He's the one who has to stay alive, or at least go down with the kit in a grabbable position if they're going to take their sweet time about finding these equalizing kills. 5 versus 4, and Bomb just into a position at default now where it will be planted. Tuzuk's the one, the strat caller to do so for Space Soldiers. And Zelos for the strat caller for Epsilon is able to pick up Des. Freddy B over the top in heaven. Again, aggressive push as Draken finds 2. They're actually going to get in toward this. It's just 2 Zooks remaining, and he hasn't exactly been the star fragger throughout the weekend, if you could say. So a pretty straightforward retake. Rez has the kick close by, and they'll easily get on it. Don't even need it, truthfully. So Freddy, pick that up. Again, retake on B, and they make it work. And we'll be getting the AK-47s in towards our 3rd round. And we'll see what kind of strategy Epsilon have adopted here. They've actually gone for a 5 rifle setup here. So no SMGs, no messing around. Cash, you do have the opportunity to sit back, nice long-range positions towards middle, towards the truck at A, and then obviously just watching B storage as well. So they're preparing themselves for the AKs. Basically, the objective this round is not to drop a single player here. They want to make sure they have those 5 rifles next round, they have the full utility defuse kits, and they can really challenge them going into round number 3. So far, so good. Zealous will take down Xantares as well. Draken with the FAMAS, going to rotate back up toward Highway, give the support to Doppelin, who's already found 1. Tuzuk's the next to step in, shoulder peek, bait out the shot, but low HP, and then ahead. That could be a massive problem on Cash. You're relying heavily on, I would say you probably want to be boosting up towards middle and trying to get that first headshot, go for the mid control. Just in terms of actually getting onto bomb sites, you're quite limited here. If you're trying to go towards B, you need to smoke with CT spawn, one forward upper. If you go into A, there's so many angles to check. You've got Heaven, you've got towards Quad as well, MBK. There's so many different angles to be worried about, but it doesn't stop Death this time. He takes down Drake, and that's the first shot to come in. That was actually towards middle as well, so we'll see how they can capitalize on this. Now they've got plenty of time to wait for. 5 on 4. It's up to the CTs now. It's similar in Dust 2, the way I was describing earlier. Cash is one of those maps where the CTs need to be gaining real estate once they drop a kill. They need to be making sure they're reacting and taking parts of the map back and gaining information. That's exactly what Zelos is doing right now. You can see him pushing in towards the A storage area. Didn't see anyone there as well, so I'm just going to give him a bit of info to work with. Not too much, though. He isn't able to push any further. And he smoked them out for now, so he can probably sacrifice rotating a player back towards B, and that's exactly where Space Soldiers will be heading. Remember, a lot of the play that Space Soldiers has done throughout the weekend has been trying to find Xantare's openings. Cash is a little bit harder to do that with an individual player. It does rely on teamwork, relies on trades, crossfire sets, and isolating CTs is significantly harder. Freddy B is going to find the first on Engine as they do go onto the B site. Rez, decent damage done in toward Checker, and Bomb flung forward as Paz tries to make it onto the site. It's down to just, well, 1 HP now on Xantares. I was going to say 2 on low HP, but it's just Xantares remaining 1 versus 3. And if he pulls it off with 1 HP, we may in fact have a new god to worship, because this is a pretty desperate situation with Bomb down inside of the B site. 23 seconds as well, so he's going to save it. He's got to get away now. Yeah, difficult times with Xantares. The bomb down, surrounded as well. Should be Zelos taking in. There it is. Tidin actually getting the bomb down here. It's just going to be Epsilon. More of the same here. They dropped 1 player last round, so he's going to be going over the UMP, just trying to farm some cash with that SMG. That'll be Drake, and he's close towards middle through that smoke. And the Terrace is going to be sneaking through here as well. This could get interesting. Ken's got Tuzuk's pushing. Trying to find the second member that did so. It's Desp. He's find him successfully. Swaps over his pistol to a P250 instead. Vent's already gone. Doesn't need to break that out, but he doesn't know it, so spins for a second, and he'll go back out to find Xantares. It's Disco Doppelin instead that finds the frag onto him, and Epsilon. Maps. It's similar to Dust 2. You can run the defaults, you can do simple executions, but it's also the depth on the map as well to actually have full set pieces if you want to. It just depends how you're going to execute them, whether you want to go for the defaults first. Some teams like to throw them in off straight away at the start of rounds, but it's quite rare to see that, I have to say. As we go into round number 5. Nothing to report as of yet. It's a full default, but there it is. Rez, like the analyst was saying, he's been phenomenal this weekend. Going aggressive towards B storage, that can be a very interesting idea from the CTs pushing, where there's normally an area where there's just be one terrorist waiting for you. If you can get that first pick and fall back, even if you trade it, it's enough. And it's going to give the Epsilon team a man advantage here. That makes things very interesting for Space Soldiers now. It's round number 5 and haven't really gained anything so far in this round. This is actually Epsilon's pick as well. We have to keep that in mind. It's, like you said, it's the first time we've seen this weekend. It's difficult to anticipate how well Space Soldiers will be playing on this map.
Freddy boosted close mid as well with this go on. Below him to play the bait. Try and pull them forward, but so far walking back toward the B site. Man down, try and find an early pick. Isolation perhaps onto Rez. But he's got utility at the ready. As soon as he fires that off through the vents, the rotation will come in from Freddy. Tuzik's going to go for the generator Molotov that spills slightly over top and pushes the player up from behind the box, but no smokes to complement. Actually goes all the way in, so he's throwing it slightly lower. That's going to leave it down to push him up in behind the site. No smoke. Catch him off. It's going to force him all the way over. The second Molotov, though, does mean there's only one place to look, and that's exactly where Paz goes. Finds him in the corner, and they catch Freddy rotating as well. Disco Doppling goes down, and suddenly things turn. Down to a 1-man advantage suddenly for Space Soldiers as Draken, he's the last alive. Ball
get that kill,
caught, going over. 6 seconds. They have to grab it to play it. He's done it. Paz goes down. He doesn't grab the bomb, and just like that, 1 man in a 1-on-3, and Epsilon's going to pull it back.
Went in for more. I thought that was enough to win the round in that instance, but he goes for the second kill as well. It's going to be 5-0 for Epsilon, and no bomb planted there for Space Soldiers. It's going to be limited on cash once again. They did manage to recover the AWP though. That now goes in the hands of Des. We know he can be a very flashy AWPer, hitting a lot of flicky shots, but we'll see what he can do going into round number 6. Looking so far, he hasn't been boosted up from what I can see. I'm sure that will be coming in. And there it is, he does go up. He has been boosted, but it's Draken. He rips his head off. Des goes down, another 5 versus 4. And at this point, look at Freddy B's position as well, Matt. You can see him in
James Bardoff.
You can see him in Bardoff position. We haven't seen that in quite a while, but we know it's powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, that's all be locked down. They've already rotated off the bomb site because of it. You have to give consideration to mid, which they are doing with the form of Draken because they can't go through the vents.
You don't really, because the position he's in, he can see checkers from there, right? So it's actually pretty easy for him to get a good call. They're not going to be checking there, so he can get good shots off and call for rotations. Mid can be completely open at this point. Freddy, though, he wants more. It's going to be an A-sided attack. Space Soldiers setting themselves up. 2 guys got the AWP.
As touch shuts down, Tuzik's on the way through. Still in behind the forklift as well. It's going to be Disco Doppler to follow up, and very...
To yourself a plan. If you do get that plan down, it means that maximum loss bonus is enhanced by $800 per player. So it really does boost your chances of getting a really strong buy into the next round. But Freddy B, he's not messing around, pushing into B storage once again, but the flash completely wrecks him. Going to be peppered down by Engine's Tech 9 there. So 5-on-4. They did go for their aggressive play once again, but it's well read this time.
As later smoke out on B that time, can watch off toward the vents. Yes, though, already boosted over. Doppler's gonna get the shot on him with the AK. Now he's overwhelmed though as Tuzix comes back around the corner. Slight smoke out in front of Draken, can't land the first shot. Needs to watch vents. Headshot missed. They're going toward the B site. Thankfully, there's 2 players still waiting and residing in that position, but it's A that's actually open. And this has forced the AWP out of that Z connector. He's lost the information and they've faked that they're going that direction and suddenly repositioned themselves. So Draken's actually got to hit some decent shots here, or he's going to be in a bit of a problem. Not only that, it'll drop an AWP inside the A site that's easily grabbable. Spots the player inside mid, misses 2 shots, down to 16 HP. He's going to try and go for more, can't do it, nearly does, as Paz gets tagged in the leg. But it's Tuzix down to cut off the rotations. Bomb going to be planted on the A site. That's a decent cutoff from Zelos, though, as Engine also gets aggressive. So it's still a 1 versus 2, AWP in the hands of Paz. He's got armor, sure, but he's only got 10 HP. He has to hit the first shot he fires. And Zantaraz, though, with a deagle, is still a decent threat. They're going to play this off each other.
But it's going to be Epsilon with a double orb setup. We know they're very good at this. They've run it plenty of times this tournament. Doppler and Draken, 2 of the big superstar names of this team. We're seeing what they can do here. It's a great map for the double orb setup. I'm a big fan. As you can see, it's going to be Doppler. He'll be going aggressive once again towards B storage. He's got that tight angle to look in towards T-spawn, and it could be Engine coming around the corner. As Zugux looks towards the vent, his first kill. Almost coming in there. Does a little bit of damage towards Freddy B.
Freddy's forced out by Molotov, though. Smoke's available on 4. Late boost from Zelos. This is actually quite clever because even if they try and drop smokes down with the 4 players, if they isolate Draken with the AWP, if they go for the close forklift smoke or even at the top of highway, they've got position above it. So they'll have to consider that if the execution comes through. But they want to rely on Paz to try and lurk out from Squeaky. Torres is in position. As is Death, but they can easily go back and throw. They're going to just flash in. They could throw the smokes from there. There's two smokes that line up underneath a white box that go, one at fork and one at quad. Oddly enough, not throwing those smokes yet. I would expect the bounce at the very least to the top highway. After the flash, feet shown, shots come in early from Zealous, only manages one. He's got to be careful in this position, fire below him. He's got to jump in the corner instead. Tuzix is still looking for the shot against him. The further they go to commit to that though, the more threatening Rez will be, and behind the forklift, it's Drake in to pick up Des, and Rez is still there against Tuzix, and now Engine, AK-47, lurking in late. That's a great shot. AWP goes down, and it's just Disco Doppler to rotate over. He's a little bit late to deny the plant, but he will be in a decent position at the top of highway. Question is, how's the rotation come back from middle? Plant in the open for A main, can't be seen from highway. AWP though, Doplin, he's gonna try and slow himself down. Remember, it's Engine that's at the highway with the high HP, almost caught in the open, shot not successful. And
we have PT50s, CZs, and not really much else to report as they won't be stacking necessarily. Have got 3 players towards B, but 2 on A also. And it looks like they're hoping that a terrorist will just open that door. As soon as they do, they're gonna run in and try and blast them. Just take the bounce towards it.
Yeah, they tried. No flash in. He's able to get them both. 46 HP. We have seen that work in multiple situations.
Yeah. Or there's obviously options to that one. You can have your teammate flash you in as soon as you open the door. They're throwing the flashbang like it's halfway through in the air, and as you open the door, you run in. That can be quite effective. But this time, it's just run in, hope for the best. So, 5 on 3. Molotovs towards MBK. This is just to be ultra efficient at this point. Just flush out anyone. You've got plenty of time. You've got the utility available. There's no reason to throw away guns, so Molotov everywhere, smoke off some key areas of the map, and just plant the bomb, and just keep everyone alive. We talk about money so much in these casts, but it really is a huge factor in these games. You can decide who wins and loses ultimately.
Double Molotov in that position as well. To clear it out, Zantares, a wrap around on quad, aims back down highway. To be planted default, and the pistols of Epsilon will have to sit back and concede a third round as the lead gets cut in half. 6-0 now to 6-3. And all 5 will stay alive, at least for now, on the Space Soldiers side. If the AWP stays up, which I expect it will, their bank now starts to swell considerably. And smart escape on this. One foil in the plan is Freddy is waiting in this direction, so if he can pick up at least one, will start to hurt the economy, and Engine thinks he checks it. AK grabbed, Freddy, 13 HP, flash out, just wants an additional kill, but won't get away with it so easily. And Epsilon's actually gonna...
Looks like he's thinking about going to Squeaky. There it is.
So Zantara's gonna line the smoke to land in front of the open doorway. Interestingly, he throws that so there's almost a gap on the right side. It's actually easier to throw, but whatever works. Molotov out in front of it. They're going to clear it behind the box with an additional Molotov as well.
Just a small note here. You can see the CTs towards the Squeaky door right now. 2 of them pushing in. This is what I'm talking about. The reaction of this map. They don't really have much into the play where they need to find a frag. So 2 players actually be going all the way behind the CTs here. But it is going to be a B-sided attack. Des coming in from the vents as well. First bit of altercation coming in, and it's going to be Des coming out on top.
Yeah, through the vents. That's pretty significant as well, because they threw out that smoke, which delayed them further as they were looking to execute, which gave more time to the players that pushed through Squeaky. But now it's on to Zealous inside the site, overlooked, but missing the shots, and that's a huge problem. Paz suddenly becomes aware of his presence, turns around, takes him down, and Doplin and Draken, the 2 that were pushing through, are already looking to save their weapons.
Yeah, it's a crazy good round from Space Soldiers there. Like I said, limited. The CTs had to try and work for those frags right there. They committed towards that Squeaky door push. I mean, the 2 players are so far removed from the situation. These are the 2 remaining players now. They have managed to pick up the AWP. And going to be hiding in T-spawn, but there's a problem. Zantares is coming, and he looks mad as he is going to hunting both of them down. What a couple of great shots that was. This guy has been one of my favorite players to watch throughout this tournament. It's great to see these kind of talents to have this such raw skill and such high skill ceilings they can achieve. And against this opposition, he almost looks like he's heads and shoulders above a lot of players here. Just in terms of the raw mechanical skill he actually possesses, it's really impressive to watch.
I remember what he did on Cobblestone when we swap over to that as map 2. He had so much confidence walking into the B site to open things up with the AK. It's crosshair placement, that's his strong suit. Again, already lined up for Zealous, who's looking to try and go for the peak with the with the Deagle. Antares spots him, hasn't shot back just yet. Now the damage done, 23, and he hasn't even repeat. That's through the edge of the box from Zantares. Deagle shot from Zealous was reasonably close, all things considered, but he'll get him on the second approach. Headshot at that, and it's down to just 4 remaining. 3 more Deagles left to find, but no armor. Should be pretty straightforward for the AK-47s. And Paz as well, opening up Squeaky. Pushed back behind quad, he'll hear him go. Dragon's figured out. Good shot from Disco, at least from distance, as Zantares is the one that's found, but Tuzix finds him immediately after, and Bomb's gonna walk in, get planted, and just res to find.
Yeah, pretty simple round here for the Turkish side. Oh, okay, well, Rez is making it interesting at least, trying to find some more Deagle headshots, but essentially this was what the Philly from Epsilon, and it's going to be finishing off decent orb setups towards quad, someone watching vents, and we'll see what kind of methodology is employed as we go into round number 12 here. This is going to be Freddy B alone towards B, and middle, sorry, this is going to be a full-on B rush, it seems.
Full-on B rush with no trade. You would have thought with the flashes coming through and 3 players rushing around the corner, Rez was only good for 1, but he gets 2, which is very good, all things considered. Smoke off from Tuzix, missed flash, unfortunately. That goes back toward his teammates in the site. Freddy gets a little bit of it through the smoke, but crossover. Bomb just going to get to a position now, default where it can be planted. No one coming from vents, everyone going heaven and toward the tree. And additional smoke, that's going to make that more difficult for them. Specifically for Freddy, who still wants to go through the doorway on the floor. Tuzix, peek against Toplin, knows he's there, AWP in his hands. It's a risky play to go for the re-peek. He does manage to get 1 as Zealous does come through. The shot gets back the other way, and he's going to switch to the rifle Disco because he needs to get close. He needs to make the plays, and they're already on top of the platform. He has to figure out exactly where they are. The smoke, at least on the left side, should be, and he has to just watch one angle. Meat shield for his teammate. He doesn't, and Des was able to take him down.
Very fast. It's absolutely fine. And this Space Soldier's coming up once again. It's going to be a partial buy coming from Epsilon this time. Just the upgraded pistols once more, body armor. Have got a couple of nades and a defuse kit that suggests they were going for something a little bit more aggressive, maybe a boost towards middle, which is going on right now. Problem is you won't go for the full-on face here. You want to sit back and wait until you hear some sort of sound cue. They might be rotating, and then you can go for the face and try and get a surprise on them.
Well, I definitely have heard Zantares. Engine's getting pushed aggressively by 2 pistol players over on B. A little bit scared to go for the re-peek. His team tries to flash him from the B connector. Just to give him a chance to find out exactly where the 2 Epsilon players have gone. Freddy B, meanwhile, has been spotted, taken down. It's Paz to find him. Again, that was part of the boost, so slow things down again with the 1-man advantage. Space Soldiers and work the anti-eco accordingly. Zealous as well gets found in mid, so pretty straightforward. Draken's at least got 1.
Yeah, this is proving to be a difficult round here for Epsilon. 4-on-2 now. Draken and Rez remain. And not really much I can do here, both towards the CT spawn area. He'll be wrecking from the truck, spamming his Deagle and seeing if he can do anything with this, but ultimately leading to nothing. The bomb will be planted on the A site. Another round, and indeed the lead going in favor now of Space Soldiers after a 6-0 deficit, Matt. This is a confusing time for the Swedish side. I think this is almost a time to take a pause, really. Like, it's, you want to get these last few rounds. You've had 6 in a row. What the hell is going on? Why is nothing working out for you? Seems like Space Soldiers is keeping things nice and simple. No real set pieces, nothing crazy. Going for control on certain parts of the map and sticking together and just winning the clutches that matter. The 3-on-3s, the important moments, are actually just hitting their shots. And Desp especially, one of the players that has impressed both of us, I think, throughout this tournament. And
yeah,
he's very quick at the AWP, very snappy player. Pads with a decent spawn towards middle. They could just go for a fast boost here.
Interestingly, Zantares is only on 5 frags so far. He's tied for bottom on the team. He hasn't needed to step up at the Desp, Tuzix, and Paz that have been doing most of the work. Paz is another one that's been excellent throughout the course of the 2-day tournament. 7 in a row for Space Soldiers after going down 6-0. Epsilon desperately need to get something going. They go back to the double up, set up again, very powerful on cash. But the setup for it. One anchor B, it's Draken alone after a quick drop in. But the second one, Doppelin in behind quad. It's so easy to isolate that AWP with smoke execution onto A. Engine as well, boosted up, just waiting for an opportunity to go down and catch out middle. Rez, as soon as those smokes dissipate, he's a sitting duck in this position, more so for a trade if there's not one on the garage, but we'll see if he decides to stick or not, because he has called over at least support from Freddy B.
The bomb will be heading towards the B storage zone, and that's where Draken will be by himself. Raz is ready to rotate through the vents. If they just walk into the site here, Draken, he has got the AWP, but it can be very difficult. There's lots of set-piece possibility towards the B side, especially using that window above the bomb site. Molotovs on the side, moves AWP out of position. And I'll have a look at the map right now, see if they are going to do anything of that manner. As I said, not so much the technical team, Space Soldiers, just known for their raw capabilities in terms of aim and skill, but this time not going to matter. Draken finds 2 kills with the AWP, Rez chimes in as well, and that's finally going to be the first round at 7 that Epsilon will be picking up here. 2 guns, last player remaining, 4-on-1. And that goes to show you, like, walking into bomb sites like that, it's viable in certain situations when you have to drop on certain teams, but when you know someone like Epsilon is running a double AWP setup pretty convincingly, unless you hit that first shot, you've got like, what, 7 different angles to check when you walk into the site. It's going to be a difficult prospect to take out an AWP.
And Draken hitting the 2 gave Rez the chance to walk through vents. Important that they get 3 alive there, because now on a reset, they've at least got 3 guns carried over. They can afford to spread out the wealth evenly, but still they are on very, very fragile reset point.
Well, it's the last round of the half.
You're right. It's 15 rounds. Henry G, you're such a smart man.
Just
I was so focused on the reset, I forgot about the total number. Either way, there's a double op set up on both sides right now, which is the first time in a while we've seen this, especially on Cash. Double op on T side's pretty difficult to try and work late in the round. If you get the opening picks, all good and well. Zealous is going to play aggressive. Went for the boost last time in this position, but no one in a position to do so with him because they've stacked up B and mid. So he's alone right now, and aggressively alone as well, in a very spammable position. So flashing himself away. Late Molotov potentially to go to the door as soon as it opens. He's at least got a rotation coming in from Draken, but they've got to get themselves in a position that this is viable. And an AWP boosting up behind Red, at least the smokes won't cover this, but it's also a one and done drop down as soon as the shot hits. So decent call to get the Molotovs out. They close off toward quad. Draken does hit the 1. Still going to try and stay for more jump shot. Now he's down off the box. He's going to have to wrap around, but he's completely smoked off. There's a small gap. Doesn't choose to use it. Instead, it's Zontaras that goes around to find him in turn, and Tuzux will put out the late smoke, cover off Red. They can go for the safe open plant toward A main for the default post-plant positions, and it's going to be Disco on the AWP that's going to try and come in through Z connector while his 2 teammates work up toward highway. Tuzux, still no plant off this as the Molotov came in. Second one's a little bit late to deny. It's just going to get the bomb down now, and Rez getting closer. That Molotov miss thrown into the smoke means they can start to advance. They can't cover off the truck as effectively as they'd like. It's Zontara smoked off, walks out. Post-plant position, default down. Engine has to hit 1 with the AWP. He's gone low, but he's got 3 kills in the round. That seems to be the curse yesterday and today. Tricked and Enst. Paz, meanwhile, this is more traditional. This is more what we were talking about in the first half, the first pistol, the retake on A rather than B. Mind you, Epsilon kind of silenced us with their stunning performance walking back in to pull that one back. But however, this time smoke's out. Bomb plant going to come in relatively soon. It's 1 kit. 2 utility players. So Paz and Zontaras are the only 2 with armor to try and man up in this situation and take the fight. Paz will get closer. 3 still in mid. They've got to cover off the players waiting inside of A main because they are going to hear this wrapping around through garage, and immediately already Zontaras is trying to be clever about this, but he's being watched right now from Draken. Thankfully, low enough on HP, but off angle in the door. And if I'm not mistaken, we don't see it. He walks directly by him. So Zontaras just gets taken down by Zelos immediately. Desp, he'll fall on the way through. Paz, he gets an assist onto his teammates. Some team damage exchange. It's going to be Zelos and Freddie B to close the round, and no retake coming in. It's Epsilon now with 2 pistols.
Yeah, I feel like Space Soldiers were trying to be a little bit too clever with that retake there. Wasted a lot of time being apprehensive towards middle, then going for the boost as well. That wastes so much valuable resources in terms of the time left you actually have to actually go for a full retake and kill 4 remaining terrorists there. So we did see Epsilon pick up the pistol there, and when a simple A execute does come in, have plenty of time to work with. The CT just forced to come in for those mad faces, and we'll see what kind of bias coming in from the Turkish squad. Is going to be 8-8 here, and it's upgraded pistols, body armor as well, but Rez with stellar headshot towards Desp. Takes him down. Obviously towards middle as well, so 5 and 4. And we'll see what kind of play they can bring to the table now. All they need to do, once you have mid control and you have the rifles, you face up towards highway, you get someone in towards connector, check the vents, see if there's any frags available. If there's not, just group up, go back to a B split. If you can see checkers is absolutely fine. That's all you have to do, really. So we're favoring towards A. Rez has control middle for them. Similar mentality as to what I just described. But flashbang does come in as Zontaras to find the first shot with the Desert Eagle. Takes down Zelos, 4 and 4 now.
Freddy being aimed toward forklift, but it doesn't go far enough. And Zontaras is able to hit the 1D. Watch highway. He knows both sides are a threat. And now, with that extinguish, the shot from Paz, he's able to turn around and take down Disco Doppelin. And another round going suddenly to Space Soldiers. This time an eco kills momentum, and it keeps them in the lead.
Epsilon, after getting the first pick as well, it's just Zanteras with the perfect timing there towards a main entrance. He gets flashed in by his teammates. That's pretty much the last resort play they had. He goes in, hits the first kill on the chest shots, falls back, another headshot comes in. It's really strong play from him, one of the most skilled players on the server right now. 9-8 is going to be a force buy in return from Epsilon, looking to go fast towards A by the looks of things. It's actually going to be 3 players towards the door, and they're going to have some sort of set piece here. You can see them setting up outside towards the A bomb site. Smokes go over, and it's quite telegraphed though, and here comes the play, bursting out the squeaky door.
Deep smoke allows Freddy through the squeaky door to at least get in the sight, but they don't clear quad in doing so, which is a bit bizarre. All things considered, Desp is able to just sit there as his Paz, and they walk back in. Everyone goes down. Pretty straightforward from Space Soldiers. First time we've seen a heavy set execution on A pretty much the whole game, oddly enough.
It's actually, but in today's meta, you only really see them on those partial buys, which you're desperate to get the bomb down, you're trying to segregate CTs. The problem with those set X pieces is it's so telegraphed, right? Because the smokes have to fly over the map, and it gives, if you're going to do all that, it's either you're doing a really lackluster fake where you only send one person in, or you're sending everyone in at that one particular time. And a lot of teams know how to lock these down now. When they see these smokes coming over, then they push into A main before you can even make your save to the bomb site, or they just sit back and retake you after you've got no utility left. So it's difficult to actually make those gun rounds work, sorry, those set pieces work in the gun rounds, but definitely is options for them. This just depends, you have to work the map in a default and get a first pick traditionally. But here we go then, it's going to be Epsilon onto a full eco here. They have managed to pick up the first kill though. That was Draken picking it up. And for some reason he's got a Glock, so assuming he managed to get in a close range situation, didn't upgrade his pistol at all.
P250 for Freddy, meanwhile. They're going to go faster this time. No telegraph with the smokes, but it does leave Paz and Xantera's a good line of sight, and 2 kills apiece. Ajax's going to rotate over already because bomb down in sight. They've got full control. It's going to be Rez inside the door with a deagle. Would love someone to walk into his crosshair at this point in time. Does spot a shoulder at the very least. Possibly going to get one toward the awkward forklift to fire at. Not at all. Through the door, it's Tuzux to make it 11 now for Space Soldiers, but guns to come up this time again, finally for Epsilon.
Indeed, on the T side now, no all potential here by the looks of things. It's actually quite limited by, they have got 5 AK-47s, armor across the board, but no Molotovs. That kind of suggests that they are weak here. Molotovs very important on cash. We saw it time and time again in the first half. Once you get the first pick and you try to clear out a bomb site, you can throw the Molotovs towards MBK, towards quad, towards the forklift. This meaning you can actually eradicate possibilities for where the CTs can be. So let's see what they decide to do. It actually looks like it's a heavy A setup for now. Players towards that side of the map. Solos is in the middle. Maybe just holding the lurk.
Resident Squeaky, it's Xantera's that was the only one initially inside of the A side. That's an exchange with Paz coming back over, but Rez has that door open. Molotov can easily go in, force him all the way back. Minute 19 to work with. Bomb outside of A main. He's set on B right now. Space Soldiers. No one really watching mid, so they're trying to give that up. The difference is that they do at least have one player inside of the vents, Desp. But it's one and done in that situation because there's nowhere to trade off. If there's nowhere to flash from the bottom of highway, it's pretty much get one, fall away. And if a Molotov even goes in to clear that, mid's entirely an option right now. Unfortunately, there is no Molotovs on the Epsilon side to do so, so they're going to have to work with just the smokes, 4 of them to work. Likely bounce that off the box toward the quad position, but Paz again, same spot we saw the AWP last time. Going to try and see above smokes on the way through. Xantera's goes down. Now there's an entry potential. Paz, he's got to weigh out the consequences of looking to his left rather than his right. As the smoke comes out, he definitely has a player going above as well, and Disco Doppelin and Freddy are going to find the next 2 entries. And Freddy at mark mid. He's got Engine just in front of him. Tuzux is late to get toward Truck. Flash is already off on him. Bomb goes down. Smoke out to cover off the rotation back in behind the red crate. And the player at quad has a lot more freedom. It's suddenly a 1 versus 4. And Epsilon, good execution now that they get the guns back.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting into that side effectively as well. Only dropping 1 kill so far. It leaves Engine in an impossible situation now. And he has the UMP in hand. They have got a ton of residual cash going forward. So at this point, he's just trying to take down any terrorists he can. Obviously, he can't win the round, but if he can do something with this, like kill them as they're rotating off and make them go down with a bomb, that would be fantastic. He does pick up an M4 though, so deciding to opt out of this one. I guess he has got an incendiary, a CZ, an HG grenade, and a kit as well. So a lot of utility to save there. Valuable towards the end. And there will be 3 players remaining for Epsilon. Managed to get that 9th round on the board. As we said, it's always going to be a very close game with these two teams. And we'll see what round 21 has in store. It's going to be the double orb setup, this time for Space Soldiers. And as we said before, when you have the double orb setup, it's more viable to leave middle open. You can have the AWP towards a quad area, looking towards highway, one towards B as well. And that's normally the standard setup here. We'll see where Desp decides to go. You can see where Desp is right now in that connector area. The problem is you normally get smoked out there at the start of the round, and it makes it very difficult to actually do anything with the AWP in that position. Epsilon, though, very passive default, but look at the aggression towards Squeaky Door. Okay, Rez.
Yeah, again, stepping up. He's been impressive. I have to say, he's really stepped up this tournament. Back on the Cringe Gods days when it was Rez X still on the team with him, they were kind of the quiet too, but Rez has really come into his own as of late on this Epsilon roster. Draken's going to take down Engine as well, and already they're looking to try and keep these AWPs up. A dual AWP set up on the CT side. Again, we mentioned it, it's great. But with money the way it's going to be now, with Epsilon winning 2 on the bounce, Space Soldiers desperately need to hold on to them. Fnatic's pulled it off before with a single AWP on this map multiple times, so 2 of them is definitely potential. Desp does hit 1 shot on Rez to keep them both up so far, but now they know the location of them and they'll start to go on the hunt. Decent crossfire set too, with Tujuk watching outside of CT spawn. They pretty much have to cross one of the 2 crosshairs no matter how they go, no matter if it's A or B they approach from, and Freddy finds that out the hard way. 1 down though. Tujuk needs to hold on to his. Another shot into Zelos. It's just Draken and Domplin left alive in the end with the AKs, and that'll leave an AWP on the Space Soldiers side, but we're back within 1 round on the first map, 11-10.
And Space Soldiers that round getting aggressive. They try to push those 2 players towards the Squeaky Door area, hunting just for 1 frag there. Power in numbers, pushing a tight choke point and seeing if they could find that terrorist. But Rez, like you said, phenomenal this tournament, stepping up, double headshot for him. He's currently on 17 frags again. He's actually top frag. He's top of the scoreboard, but Draken is top fragging. But still, another great performance by him. Closing the gap. It's now 11-10. Epsilon looking very strong right now. Last few rounds going in their favor. It will be quite a weak buy here from the Turkish side. They've got AWP, UMP, and a FAMAS. Limited across the board. Someone needs to step up once again with that aggression. Failed them last time.
Disco tries to anticipate that someone's inside of the smoke on boxes. No one really pushing A main a lot of times this game. We haven't seen the flash in through smoke to try and execute and get potential map control.
Yeah, it seems like that's only come in once when Xantaros did that deagle push, but it was very effective, you have to say. We're getting to the 1 minute mark here. Epsilon yet to really make their move here. Rez has gone down to 40 HP. He's in the Squeaky Door area. He could have been spammed through the door. It's a very common duel that goes on. The CT's just trying to dink some damage through. It's quite paper thin. And here we go then. Potentially edging towards the B split here. We'll see how they decide to go. Disco does make its way towards B storage.
Engine waiting all the while though with the UMP is going to spot Zealous after that Molotov was thrown. And they'll fall back with the man advantage. They're comfortable just to turtle up inside of the sights. And you said B split. Right now they still have to wait for the rotation to come back over from Rez, who was waiting at Squeaky. If they are going to split, they're going to need him now. They can't do it with just 3 members. Domplin goes in before they get toward the vents. That gives Desp 2 quick shots, no trade potential. Bomb down inside of the site, 18 seconds. And 2 AKs to work with Epsilon. I may think they're going to bail away exactly that.
Yep, with the bomb down and no time remaining at all. That's big call here. That is obviously the reset potential for them. So the fact they're forced buying into this one, they want to reset straight away towards Space Soldiers while they have those guns up as well. So this is definitely justified. A smart call, I would say, has the potential to work, but that certainly doesn't. Des with the double AWP kill, I assume as a collateral. He's actually playing towards B, so he must have faced him towards B storage. It could have been for a smoke as well.
It would have been through the smoke because Rez was throwing them down. Put them out really early to try and cover off the doorway at B. So Des, a little bit of luck on his side. Doesn't matter, they'll take it. It all counts, 12-10. Late in the game, and Space Soldiers with the 2-man advantage. Here's Antares again on the A site, going to try and spray through now. What is the open door? And Rez, without much pressure applied onto him, is going to go ahead and Molotov off the forklift, stand in the open and wait for the player to try and escape, but unfortunately no one there for him to try and get, because one kill to bring this back to an executable position would be beneficial. However, Zontaras, he finds two of his own. It's a 1 versus 5.
They haven't invested in armor. It's not really a partial buy. I'd say this is an eco. It's just going to be PT50s and CZs. One smoke and a couple of flashbangs. The objective here purely to get the bomb down. That smoke will probably be used towards highway and try and swarm the side from squeaky door. I would say that's almost a guarantee at this point, but let's see how it pans out.
Zontaras a little bit late. Molotov actually bounces as he tries to escape and fully blinded up. Rez is able to take him down, but Paz responds. Bomb plant coming in. So a fast plant from Epsilon at least builds money for the next. But can they convert this? Because they have picked up an AK-47 from Freddy. That's going to be boosted as well toward highway. Paz spots it, can't find the lineup. It's going to be 2-6 instead with an 8 back the other direction. It's going to take Disco, and now Space Soldiers. They'll get closer and closer toward the back of sight. Freddy B just needs to watch any rotations toward Forklift. Instead, it's Zelos that'll get him with the pistol boosted in corner. Draken waiting for anyone to cross. Good shot, P250, and they actually do.
It was that first kill coming in, like you said, the AK was picked up, and that was a real chance there for Space Soldiers to capitalize. Couldn't find the kills. Caught with the trousers down. It's going to be round number 25. And money back in favor of Epsilon. Still the double orb set up for the Space Soldiers, and it's not going to be for long as it goes down to the single. As Draken does find the kill onto Zontaras.
Zelos already wrapped around toward the highway. Molotov's still out, so he can't push up quite as quickly. He's just going to lurk right now because they've already got one player Disco through the vents. And a pinch on to B is going to be the play. So behind ticket booth on highway is where they've tried to leave their lurk player to cut off the rotations. It's a decent position to be in, but the other four need to act quickly. His desk, he's exactly gone down from heaven, hit a shot, gotten away, and there's no response. Freddy at least gets 2 Zook smoke a little bit late, and a massive gap to play inside of as well. In toward the tree, and exactly that. Despin hit it, he can get away, he chooses to stay in the site. It's beneficial as he finds Rez. Bomb dropped once more, 1 versus 3, and Draken with an AWP. And 50 seconds, mind you. All right, Desp, cheeky. Does try and make a play. He's actually got in toward the site. He's not quite aware of it. Gun not drawn. It's an awkward exchange for both of them on the AWP. And finally, Paz has had enough of letting them try and fool around.
Capitalized from that point on. 1 round away from map point here. This is the best of 3. It's the grand final. 14-11. It's going to be 2 pistols in the hands of Epsilon here. They have got an AWP as well and a couple of AKs, but certainly the advantage lies firmly in favor of Space Soldiers.
For Draken's opportunity, but nothing amounts. 3 smokes toward him in as well from Engine. That smoke dissolves. He'll hope to have an opening with the AWP. 1 of 2, remember. Desp still with his, along with Engine. Interesting late smoke middle. Bomb drop back down smartly. Let's not forget to do that. Let's not get that caught out in middle without a plan. Late smoke as well. That should land just beyond the highway. I didn't quite see the lineup on it, but Paz is going to get 2 regardless for Space Soldiers. And that's pushing through into A main, into Locker's area. So the smokes might land, but they're not even get far enough to go toward the site. Bomb down, as you say, but he is slightly isolated, more so because Zealous has got the shot onto Tujuk. Zontaras now has to cut them off, trying to wrap back toward that bomb. In doing so, he's allowed Paz to walk forward and find the last remaining player in.
Focus on getting towards A main and recovering the bomb as well. Zontaras just waiting towards the bomb, so he's waiting for them to cross over, and he locks it down. And it's the final round potentially here. Number 27, it's 15-11 in favor of Space Soldiers, and Epsilon only have pistols to try and keep the dream alive here. They have got head armor as well. Very limited utility, 1 smoke and some flashbangs. And it's going to be Death opening things up. He's had a great game so far, and that's one of the final nails on the coffin now.
It's definitely a strong pick to get early on against the pistols. Through the vents they go. Paz not able to spot up the first one. Second one with the M4, spraying desperately after he does tag him. Can't find the kill just yet onto Doppelin. Instead, crossfire set toward B, but unfortunately Engine's limited in his position. Instead, it's going to be Tujuk to step up and help him get a kill, 1 apiece. Freddy B and Draken. And Epsilon looking like they're going to have to reset in time for Cobblestone, where we know they've got potential on the Space Soldier side to explode in toward bomb sites. Draken at least fighting on to try and keep this going, but it's inevitable at this point, and Zontaras will close it. Space Soldiers They'll take map 1 of the grand final.
You're absolutely right. This was Epsilon's pick. We haven't seen this played in the entire tournament. We thought they were going to potentially run away with it. They actually went up 6-0 on the first half map. We thought, okay, well, there's obviously a reason why they picked this map, but all of a sudden, Space Soldiers started showing up, and did they ever. Some great plays there, individual performances as well. Desp especially, some really, really impactful moments there. Just when they were up against the ropes and money was tight, they were pushing in and making sure he was hitting all the flicky shots there. And Xanteras, like you said, the first half, he was pretty quiet. It was like one point when they were hot on the comeback, he was only on about 5 frags. So it wasn't the same old story saying, oh, it's just one guy, the one-man army, and all that sort of thing. It's actually